Imagine living where your family name is the greatest legend and the heaviest curse. You are not that hero, only his descendant. From a young age, you were exiled, mocked, and failed miserably when trying to imitate the legend. But you have one weapon that he does not possess: the understanding that in the new century, power is not taken by the sword, but by the image and voice of the people. This is the story of how a fake builds the foundations of a modern state while chasing the shadow that eventually destroys it. Napoleon III, 1808–1873, was born Louis-Napoléon Bonaparte. The nephew of Emperor Napoleon I, his life began in exile, following the defeat and fall of his uncle. He was raised with one obsession: restoring Bonaparte's name to the French throne. Twice he attempted coups, 1836 and 1840, and failed miserably. The second even landed him in prison, before eventually fleeing to England. This failure taught him a valuable lesson: the path of power has changed. His opportunity came during the Revolution of 1848. He returned to France, not as a general, but as a presidential candidate. By leveraging the allure of the name Bonaparte and the promise of stability, he won the election by a landslide. In just 3 years, through the subtle coup of 1851, he dissolved Parliament and declared himself Emperor of France, ending the Second Republic. Domestic achievement: modernization builder. Transformation of Paris. He commissioned Baron Haussmann to completely overhaul the capital. Modern Paris, with its wide boulevards, sanitation systems, and public parks, is its main heritage. Industrial and economic revolution. It encouraged industrialization, the construction of a national railway network, and the growth of banking that strengthened the French economy. Style and culture. His marriage to Queen Eugenie created a center of fashion and luxury, making Paris a city of light. Weaknesses and failures: the failed conqueror. His obsession with matching his uncle's military glory was his stumbling block. His ambitious and often rash foreign policy culminated in the Franco-Prussian War, 1870. His decisive defeat and capture at the Battle of Sedan led to the collapse of his empire in just a matter of weeks. Napoleon III spent the rest of his life back in exile in England. It is a paradox of history: a visionary of development at home and a loser on the battlefield. A slippery politician, but a victim of his own obsession. Although his name is often less radiant than his uncle, his tangible legacy, the face of Paris, and the foundations of modern France, remains far more solid than the crumbling empire of his dreams. His story is an enduring lesson about the dangers of living in the shadows, and about how true heritage is often built with hammers and chisels, not with swords and cannons.